Hello, my name is Mordred Viking, and I'd like to welcome you to this game of Mount Blade 2. This is, of course, Bannerlord, and we are about to start a new game, and I just need to update the title on Twitch. This is going to be Sturgian Viking Raider Person. And we are going as an infantryman this time around. Viking Trader or Viking Raider? We could probably do a bit of both, honestly. I mean, the Vikings did both. So we are going Sturgian. 20% less speed penalty in the snow, so we're going to be great during the winter. The Sturgians are the descendants of the foreign tribes of northern Calradia. As the Empire expanded into their cold forests, they found that a ready market for the luxurious furs, the woodland animals, whom they traditionally hunted and trapped. Sturgian chieftains became princes, vying for preeminence with the help of the Nord mercenaries who migrated into their realm. They are good hunters and wanderers, travelling far in search of opportunities, both for trade and profit. I mean plunder. Right, so let's re-roll this until we find somebody a bit cooler. That seems like a good start. We're going to be a towering warrior with very pale skin because we're from Scandinavia. Voices.
Line formation! Infantry! Form a ring! Cut them down! Move forth! At them! Give them hell! At them! Shoot at will! Die, you bastard! Hold the ring! Yeah! Circle formation! Ladders up!
That'll do. Alright, so, hair. That's the important one. Here we go. I want magnificent hair. With a ponytail. Perfect. And a great big bushy beard. Bit too bushy. Huh? Huh? Ah! There we go. Yep, that'll do. Oh, hang on. Can we go like that here? Good stuff. Okay, so choose the family. You were born into a family of boyar companions. This gives us riding, two-handed, and social. Urban traders. Your family were merchants who lived in Sturgia's great river ports, organising the shipment to the north's bounty of furs, honey, and other goods to faraway lands. This gives us trade and tactics, and also cunning. And cunning is a very useful skill. Free farmers. Family had just enough land to feed themselves and make a small profit. People like them were the pillars of the kingdom's economy, as well as the backbone of the levy. Athletics and polearm, as well as endurance. I mean, endurance for the athletics is going to be really helpful. However, I think we're going to go two-handed this time around, rather than polearm. Your family owned their own workshop in a city, making goods from raw materials brought in from the countryside. Your father played an active and minor role in the town council, and also served on the militia. Smithing, one-handed intelligence. No, I don't think that's what we want to do. Your family had no taste for authority of the boyars. They made their living deep in the woods, slashing and burning fields they tended for a year or two before moving on. They hunted and trapped fox, hare, ermine, and other fur-bearing animals. Scouting and bow. Not really an archer, though. Or we can go as the vagabonds. Your family numbered amongst the poor migrants living in the slums that grew up outside the river cities, making whatever money they could from a variety of odd jobs. Sometimes they did services for one of the region's many criminal gangs, roguery, throwing, and also control. I don't think we want to do that. Your father was the member of the boyars' druzhina, the companions that made up his retinue. He sat at his lord's table in the great hall, oversaw the boyars' estates, and stood by his side in the centre of the shield wall in battle. So this one would give us two-handed fighting. And also social. I think that I was over-investing in social previously. I think cunning and intelligence would actually be more useful. I like the idea of either trade, tactics, and cunning. That's a good combo. Or athletics, polearm, and endurance. I mean, I don't really want polearm as the thing. I think I'm going to go with the urban traders. It's just good business after all. So we'll have cunning for good tactics. We start with tactics, and we also start off with some trade. Trading helps a lot early. Yes, it does. Choose our early childhood. As a child, I was noted for my uber leadership skills, which would give us leadership tactics and more cunning. As the wolf, if the wolf pup gang of your early childhood and that alpha, it was definitely you. The other kids followed your lead and decided what to play and where to play. This led them into the games and mischief. Two-handed and throwing plus vigor. Vigor is combat skill. I mean, I don't necessarily want throwing, but starting with two-handed would be good. You were big, and the other children looked to you to have around in any scrap with children from the neighbouring village. You pushed a plough and threw an axe like an adult. Tempted by that one. Attention to detail. You were quick on your feet and attentive to what was going on around you. Usually you could run away from trouble, though you would give a good account of yourself in a fight with other children if cornered. Athletics, one-handed control. What's control for again? Archery. Yeah, we don't need that. Aptitude for numbers. Most children around you had only the most rudimentary education, but you lingered after class to study letters and mathematics. You were fascinated by the marketplace, the weights, the measures, tallies and accounts, the chatter about profit, and more profit. Engineering, trade and intelligence. You know what? That's actually very tempting. Because engineering is a skill that companions just don't seem to get, and nobody seems to get the engineering trait. I mean, the engineering role. So we might well be the engineer this time around. And starting with intelligence, engineering and trade seems to be a really good combo. You're always attentive to other people, good at guessing their motivations. You studied how individuals were swayed and tried out what you learned from the adults on your friends. Charm, leadership and social. And that's what I think I went with last time, but I don't think I went... No, we went with the horses last time, didn't we? You were always drawn to animals and spent much time as possible hanging out in the village stables. You could calm horses and kill horses, and were sometimes called in to break even new horses. You learned the basics of veterinary arts, much of which is applicable to humans as well. I think we're going to go with the aptitude for numbers. We need some combat skills, definitely. Growing up, we spent most of our time at the town watch's training ground. Watch the town watch practice shooting and perfect their plans to defend the walls in case of a siege. Gives crossbow tactics and control. Gang leaders who kept watch over the slums of the Calradian cities were always in need of poor youth to run messages and back them up in turf wars, while three thrill-seeking merchant sons and daughters sometimes slummed it in the company as well. Roguery, one-handed cunning. No. All towns had their share of projects that were constantly in need of both skilled and unskilled labour. You learned how hoists and scaffolds were constructed, how planks and stones were hewn and fitted, and other skills, athletics, smithing and vigour. That's tempting, because I would like to get at least attributes and vigour, because then I can train up the skills pretty quickly. Smithing, I guess it's useful. And then athletics is always useful, especially starting with a few points in athletics, because it'll just give me that edge over the looters. In the markets and the caravansaries, you helped your family handle their business affairs, going to the marketplace to make purchases and oversee the arrival of caravans. Trade, charm and social? I don't think so. With a tutor, your family arranged for a private tutor and took full advantage, reading voraciously on history, mathematics, philosophy and discussing what you read with your tutor and your classmates. Engineering, leadership and intelligence. That's also a really good combo. I mean, intelligence is just generally useful. Engineering, as I said, is useful, but that's more of a late game thing. And then the leadership is something we can train anyway, or caring for the horses. Your family owned a few horses at the town stables, and you took charge of their care. Many evenings you would take them out beyond the walls and gallop through the fields, racing the other youth, riding steward and endurance. No, I think that this time we're going for the docks. Docks and the building sites. Athletics, smithing and vigour, I think is going to be the way to go. As a youngster growing up in Calradia, war was never too far away. You stood guard with the garrisons, bow, engineering and intelligence. Urban troops spend much of their time guarding the town walls. Most of their training was in missiles. Rode with the scouts, all of Calradia's kingdoms recognise the value of good light cavalry, and are sure to recruit nomads and borderers with the skills that fulfil those duties. You were a good enough rider that your neighbours pitched in to buy you a small pony and a sheaf of javelins, so that you could fulfil their levy obligations. Trained with the infantry. The levy, armed with spear and shield drawn from the small-holding farmers, have always been the backbone of most of the armies of Calradia. Polearm, one-handed vigour. Or Join the skirmishers. Younger recruits, or those of slighter build, or those too poor to buy a shield and armour to join tended to join the skirmishers. Fighting with a bow and javelin, they could stay out of reach of the main enemy forces. I mean, none of these, honestly. Endurance? Maybe? Training with the it's got to be training with the infantry. Vigour for the extra combat skills. Polearm one-handed. Not necessarily immediately useful, but good in tournaments. Yeah, we're going to train with the infantry. Before you set out for a life of adventure, your biggest achievement was that I defeated an enemy in battle. Gain one-handed, two-handed vigour, extra valour, extra renown. Not everyone who musters for the levies march for war, and not everyone who goes on campaign sees action. You did both, and you also took down an enemy warrior in direct one-on-one combat, in the full view of your comrades. You led a caravan. Your family needed someone trustworthy to take a caravan to a neighbouring town. You organised the supplies, ensured a constant watch to keep away the bandits, and brought it safely to its destination. Tactics, leadership, and cunning. Also +1 calculating and renown. Your parents didn't give you much money, but they did leave just enough for you to secure a loan against a larger amount to build a small workshop. You paid back what you borrowed and sold the enterprise for a profit. Trade, smithing, intelligence gives us calculating and renown. I mean, this would start us out with a crazy amount of trade skill. Not necessarily the direction I want to lead, though. Your hometown was briefly placed under siege. You were called to defend the walls. Everyone did their part to repulse the enemy assault, and everyone is justly proud of what they endured. Bow, crossbow, control, and renown. Wow, you got a lot of renown with this one. That's interesting. Maybe it was a love affair. Maybe you cheated at dice. Or maybe you just chose your words poorly when drinking with a dangerous crowd. Anyway, you got into the kind of trouble from which only a quick tongue or quick feet can get you out alive. Athletics, roguery, and endurance. That one's tempting, actually. Starting with 2 focus points in athletics would be quite good. You treated people well. Yours wasn't the kind of reputation that local legends are made of, but it was the kind that wins you respect amongst those around you. You were constantly fair and honest in your business dealings and helpful to those in trouble. In doing so, you got a sense for what made people tick. Charm, stewarding, social, we gain +1 mercy, generosity, and honour, and renown. I think it's going to be the famous escapade or defeating an enemy in combat. I think I want to upgrade the combat abilities. We are supposed to be some great warrior chief person. So we're going to defeat the enemy. And then the background. Like many families in Calradia, your life was upended by war. Your home was ravaged by the passage of army after army. Eventually, you sold your property and set off with your father, mother, brother, and your 2 younger siblings to a new town you'd heard was safer. But you did not make it. Along the way, the inn at which you were staying was attacked by raiders. Your parents were slain and your 2 youngest siblings seized. But you and your brother survived because we subdued the raider. One-handed athletics and vigour. Drove them off with arrows. You grabbed a bow and sent a few arrows the raiders' way. They took cover, giving you an opportunity to flee with your brother. Bow, tactics, control. Rode off on a fast horse. Jumping on the 2 remaining horses in the inn's burning stable, you and your brother broke out of the encircling raiders and rode off. Riding, scouting, endurance. We tricked the raiders. In the confusion of the attack, you shouted that someone had found treasure in the back room. You then made your way out of the undefended entrance with your brother. Or you organised the travellers to break out. You encouraged the few travellers in the inn to break out in a coordinated fashion. Raiders killed or captured most of you, but you and your brother were able to escape. Leadership, charm, and social. I'm actually really tempted by this one, because I do feel like we need more social skill. And getting that bonus to leadership and charm in the same trait, I think, is a very good one. Yeah, we're going to trick them. And break out. Sorry, not trick. We're going to organise. Yeah, I like that. Enter my name. Something mighty and Viking-y. How about Mordred? So we're actually going to be weirdly good at one-handed, though that's definitely not my focus. We're going two-handed. We're smithing, athletics, tactics, very good at trade, engineering, leadership and charm. We're a really balanced character. Drink tea. That's a good point. I haven't had any yet. And it's definitely done brewing. Still cannot see Mordred as anything other than a Black Knight. Yeah, Mordred really is the Lancer. And I don't think that this would be Helfrich. Helfrich's the polearm warrior, although there will definitely be similarities between this guy and Helfrich. No pole hammers in this game, though, unfortunately. Yeah, Wrangle will probably be the clan name. Although, that being said, Wrangle I think actually fits, because we're the Rus. We're the Kievan Rus. So we're in the right part of the world if we are a Wrangle. Ragnar means nothing to me. Rurik? Possibly. Rurik. I'm guessing more than a few people have done Rurik. No, we're going to go as Wrangle. We'll call the clan something else. Okay, and friendly troops take maximum damage. Friendly parties take maximum damage. I take 2/3 because I do like being a little bit heroic. Recruitment difficulty is going to be realistic. Map movement speed is going to be realistic. I'm not going to die and I'm not going to auto-allocate. Begin. Brother, it has been 3 days now. We are tracking these bastards. I think we're getting close. We need to think about what happens when we catch them. Are we going to rescue Fodor and Elishka? Are we up for a fight? This looks like some old training field for the legions. Perhaps we can spare some time and brush up off our skills. The practice could come in useful when we catch up with the raiders. I mean, I'm going to do the tutorial just to give myself a bit more practice. Practice makes perfect. Alright, now we just need to enter a training area. This will also give me an idea of how our skills are. Sword and board. There we go. Mission accomplished. Let's go and do sword training. Hey, Helson! Thanks very much for the raid. Welcome to the stream. Yep. No. That way. There you go. That way. Up. Down. That's not the left. That counted. Alright, sword tutorial done. Let's go to the next one. Sword and board combat training. Let's do this.
Come on! Come on!
This guy is annoyingly good at blocking. He's also very tough. Crikey. How to beat someone with a bigger weapon than yours. Just keep hitting them. They're going to swing slower. Heard a rumour the Vikings started. Figured a good time for a food and break. Yeah, and we're even starting the Viking run. I'm just doing the training stuff right now. Somehow beat him. Not sure how. Oh, damn. Ah! He hits faster than me. I lost with the two-hander. That's not good. I'm supposed to be a two-handed expert. Ah, oh, damn it. Am I going to have to fight them both again? Oh, for Pete's sake. It's the first time I've lost. I will win eventually. Yeah, this isn't giving skills, unfortunately. No! Yes! I got there eventually. Am I using a controller? No, mouse and keyboard. Yeah, tournaments and arena now give skills. Unfortunately, this doesn't. Drink tea. Okay. I thought I could do that while just drinking. Never mind. Oh, this is not a spear. I could have kicked his ass if I'd realised this wasn't a spear. Damn. Beating that guy while drinking tea. Show off. Alright, mounted training, though I don't think I really need to do mounted training. I see your horses, and think of them simply as a food source. Whoa, missed. I don't think I missed any of these. Oh no, I did. And again. Wow, okay, we're really bad with crossbows. I think I'm firing too quickly. 3 misses! 3! Ugh. That was awful. That was really bad. Oops, I think we picked up the bow. There we go. Yeah, the bow... It's way too accurate. Look how quickly I'm able to aim this thing. No bloody wonder bows are so strong at the moment. I have no skill in archery. None. One miss. Alright, this is the one where I'm going to suck. Not good at throwing.